June 15th, 2007. I'm on the shores of Lake Chakarua in the White Mountains of New Hampshire and driving up to North Conway to run in the Mount Washington road race tomorrow. And it's just so nice to be back in New England and seeing all the greenery and the forests and the trees and the lakes and the mountains and the streams and the quaint little towns. And it reminds me why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's to protect this. It's so hard to connect to the natural world in Los Angeles, at least for most of the people living there. They see concrete, they see houses, that's what they know, and they see desert. So it's not something they really want to embrace. But when you come here in New England and you see how amazing the natural environment is, you want to protect it. You feel connected to it. It speaks to you. It reaches out to you and says, relax, enjoy. You know, life's not so bad. Just breathe. Breathe. They have a 3D topo relief of Mount Washington and the presidential range, so you can see the road and where all the peaks are. The Mount Washington Auto Road, which was completed in 1861, is 7.6 miles long and climbs 4,750 feet to the top of Mount Washington, the Northeast's highest peak. So my last meal of the day before the race is going to be a huge salad. It's a little before 8 o'clock p.m. Race starts at 10 a.m., so salad's going to be in and out, and check it out. Just lots of greens picked fresh from our garden in Vermont. All organic, all delish. So we went to register at the Eagle Mountain Inn, and they were having this huge pasta dinner. So the athletes can load up on all-you-can-eat pasta for 15 bucks. But I guess they don't realize that processed white flour is like one of the worst possible things you can eat before a race. But they're only thinking about carbohydrates. They're not thinking about damage it's doing to the body, so we need to educate. It's the morning of the race, 6:30 a.m. Trying something totally different for breakfast this morning. I'm eating sprouted buckwheat granola that I made back in California. 3.5 hours before the race, plenty of time to digest, good complex carbohydrates. We'll see what happens. This is one of the most challenging courses in the world. For 47 years, runners from around the globe have signed up by the thousands to challenge themselves on the hill. So it's 8:15 in the morning before the race. Going over to registration. 1,000 runners here today. 1,000 of the toughest people in the country. Warm day, a lot warmer than I thought it was going to be. I'm all dressed for winter weather on top of the mountain. You know, there's always a chance of snow up there. And I'm scared. I'm really nervous. So they're doing the green thing this year. They're not allowing cars up the mountain unless they have 3 runners coming down. So the runners run up, and drivers have to drive us back down. But if you don't have 3 runners in your car, you can't bring your car up. So we found 2 guys online from Boston that we're going to be driving down, but here we are at the start of the race. We don't know what they look like. They don't know what we look like. We've got a car with their name on it, but there's 500 cars in the parking lot here. So right now we're looking to find these guys, and I'm a little nervous because maybe my dad won't be able to drive up to the mountain and I won't have a ride down. We found our 2 riders from Massachusetts.
Hey, how are you?
So they're as excited as I am. All right, so we'll see you on top of the mountain. One of the funnest ways to get up the mountain is the Cog Railway, built in 1861. The race was won by 5-time world champion Jonathan Wyatt from Wellington, New Zealand. This was Jonathan's 2nd win on Mount Washington. In 2004, he surprised everyone by shattering the 1-hour mark and setting a new course record of 56 minutes and 41 seconds. Well, and then there's my story. Very early on in the race, I knew I wasn't going to be breaking any records. I was just grateful to be among the finishers. Out of the 1,000 brave souls at the start line, only 675 would cross the finish line.
You win some, and then you do what I did today. I think I went out too hard. I had my pace time is written on my wrist, and I hit the first 3 miles a little slower than the pace, but that pace was for 1 hour and 3 minutes, and that would have got me in the top 5. I was running with the first Kenyan man until the 3-mile point. We were in probably 12th place, and then I started getting cramps after 3 miles. So I drank some water to water stop, and I had some sports drink, which I've never had before. Obviously it wasn't raw, and that was it. I threw up twice. Cramps never went away the rest of the race. I'm telling myself, you gotta make it, no matter what it takes, just make it to the top of the mountain. I got to the 4.5 mile point, and there was the Kenyan guy that I was running with, slumped on the side of the road. I asked him if he was okay, And I was dying. I had just thrown up. And he looked at me and said, I surrender. I surrender. And that was it. He dropped out of the race. I was thinking about dropping out of the race, but then part of me said, you know what, I'm not here to win. I'm here to show that with commitment and determination that, you know, you can change the world, no matter what place you get. You'll make something happen if you don't give up.
Now, do they have hills like this in Ireland?
You know, I think they have, but I haven't been on any of them.
So will you do this again?
Absolutely.
All right.
If I get in the lottery next year, we'll see you back.
So what was the best part?
The finish. The best part's the Laura bars.
Nice. Brian, best part of the race?
Finishing.
What was the worst part?
The bottom, it was so hot. And then maybe at mile 25 realizing I wasn't going to be able to run up the whole way.
Mile 25?
Minute
Wait,
25.
It felt like mile 25,
Minute
right?
25 felt like mile 25.
This is what they call the wall. The last 200 meters to the finish are over 20 degrees. They're about 22 degrees slope. Check this out. So the race director at the start of the race comes up to give us our instructions, and everybody's nervous and fidgety, and we're all like, you know, with our fingers on our watch about to start it, and we're all bent over like we're going to sprint the whole thing, right? And he says, relax, relax. There's only one hill. Of course, that one hill is 6,288 feet high. You know, I had a really good race till 3 miles. For 3 miles, I kicked butt. I was hauling. And then I realized at about that point that I just didn't have the level of fitness required to keep that pace. I knew I wasn't in the level of shape I needed to be in for this race, with, you know, my injuries knocking me down to, you know, between 10 and 30 miles a week over the past few months. I just haven't been doing the training. You know, I haven't been able to, and I was hoping, I was praying that, you know, I had enough base for fitness to be able to do a climb like this, but a constant vertical climb for nearly 8 miles is just too much. So I just wasn't prepared for it. And I feel that I peaked last month at Malibu. I think that was my best fitness, and I've kind of tapered off since then. So, you know, back to the drawing board. It's not over. You know, I've proved something to myself today, that I do have guts, that I'm not the wimp that I thought I was. You know, on these 5K races, I feel like I haven't really been giving it my all, and today I did that. So I know that I can now. Mentally, I've gotten beyond that barrier of being afraid of the pain, because today it was all about pain. There was no escaping the pain today. There was no getting around it. You know, the journey is not done. It just means I got to get back and stay healthy and stay injury-free and just really get the miles in. If I can do that, if I can stay with these guys for 3 miles and I get in better shape, get that training in, get up to 70 miles a week, I can stay with them for 7. So we're not done yet. We are not done yet.